temper. Let's fucking go.
You must have fun creating these.
Yeah, yeah, I obviously have the project saved, so I just pretty much I switch out the monthly theme basically. So I got it down to a system, but speaking of which, welcome to the February Toronto Electronic Music Producers online meetup. And yeah, our Twitch channel is working once again, which is great. And so we're starting off the year strong. 2026 is I don't know if they actually call it that, but it's the year of the horse in the
It
Chinese
is
year.
the year of the
So,
horse.
so
Fire
it's,
horse.
A
Yeah.
fire horse, yeah.
say again?
Well, my
The
name
fire
means
horse.
Oh, fire
I.
horse. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
When I go over and
classic
get
of
my,
horse.
my horse, I got my horse just parked over there on the table. I could bring it over just for the event.
Well, my name means lover of horses, so
Oh,
there you go.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Philip.
Oh, that's what
This
it
is
means.
your year
Okay.
then, Phil. Yeah.
I hope so. We'll see.
Yeah. So we are basically we basically are whatchamacallit, yeah, we got a small group tonight, but strong quality, and everyone here is a regular, so I don't really need to play the Marlon Brando video, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I always get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But it explains our setup here, so let's go ahead without any further ado.
Don't forget to meet.
We meet monthly to listen to electronic music producers, original content, and provide feedback. Each producer is given time for one track. The order of when each producer gets their time to share is chosen randomly via random name picker. Producers are asked to send their links and/or files ahead of time. The email address is in the event details. During the meetup, the presenter will play back each producer's content. After each track, the group does a round table with participants in Zoom and discuss the track.
Yeah, that saves me from repeating that every month for the last, I don't know, 10 years, it seems. It might be longer, actually. But
I'm always half expecting to see Arnold next time.
yeah, I might do that. That's a good suggestion.
Um,
I'm trying to stay, it would be good to have someone musical maybe, but I don't want to be disrespectful either. So it's like picking like a kind of an actor is a little bit safer in terms of, I don't know. I was thinking maybe Geddy Lee. It might be kind of fun because he's from
Get
Toronto,
get
and he has a good sense of humor, I think, until he
get
sued us.
Beethoven.
well, I mean,
Beethoven. There you go.
he did guest on what is it, the Great White North album?
Right.
So, coo, 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 coo.
Right, right,
There you go.
right. Not a lot of people would do that of his stature. I mean,
Yeah.
did a Christmas record, if people don't know the reference there, with SCTV
Bob and Doug
skit there.
McKenzie.
Right, Bob and
Mhm.
Doug McKenzie, Great
Yeah.
White North.
Classic.
But yeah, I think basically that's honestly one of the best shows I think that Canada has produced, in my opinion. I was thinking about the other day what not really a big TV aficionado, but I have to admit that was some good quality content, Canadian content. But yeah, speaking of Canadian content, and well, we have some people also from the States here tonight, and sometimes we have people coming in from Europe and whatnot. So it's always nice to get the different kind of whatchamacallit, different flavors from around the globe. And in terms of our demographic, I was thinking about this earlier. I have been trying a little bit anyway to get younger people. I noticed that we're kind of like an older crowd here, and it's nice to have some younger voices, but at the end of the day, they have their own channels and whatnot. So there's all kinds of communities out there, and everyone's doing good things. But we certainly are open, and so if anyone who is young by any chance is listening to this, we're young at heart, so we may not physically look young anymore. But yeah, and we're very open-minded. So that's one of the great things about being able to have a sort of open genre type of group. I really get a chance to hear many times, music that I wouldn't necessarily listen to or have occasion to even know about, frankly. And we each have, and the good thing I think with this group is I stated it earlier, but with talented people and with their own, whatchamacallit, areas of specialty, there's a lot of good, discussions that take place and a lot of good feedback. It's been very helpful to me personally, and I know other people have said this over the years. So I encourage people to really get involved one way or the other, whether it's with our group or other groups, especially if you're, like as a creative person, a lot of times, especially with the modern approach to music production, it tends to be less of a group activity. In the past, there was certainly more people involved in music production. In many cases, people are doing it on their own. The kind of bedroom producer uh, idea. So that's sort of, I think, how this group started, which was an in-person group back in the day. And I was just a member. Like I went to, to a meetup, and so it was a really good opportunity for me personally. And then I happened to have a space that I could use that was centrally located. So I ended up hosting it in downtown Toronto. And then, as we all know, COVID hit and we went online. Thus, here we are today. I should mention, though, I personally am involved in an event that's going to be happening. It's further down the road in April. So April 24th, it's a Friday. We are going to be we're going to be bringing in a UK artist, drum and bass artist, actually. And we're going to be at the Wiggle Room. It's a pretty good spot on Dundas West. And so I'll definitely be keeping you all in the loop, but I just wanted to get that out there just to say that, that is also a reason to socialize, you know what I mean? Although, that's going to be very specifically a drum and bass, themed event. But for those of you that enjoy the sounds, something not to be missed. So it's going to be pretty exciting, and a lot of people are involved besides myself that are well versed on the festival side of things, on the industry side of things, marketing. I tend not to be the best in marketing, so it's nice to have people that are good with that. We have a guy who's been doing our flyers, Marco. I'll give him a shout out. And so it really helps. All those elements are extremely important with throwing events because they and now it's even beyond social media. It's even gotten to word of mouth. At the end of the day, I don't even know that social media is even the real, because of how the algorithms are working and whatnot. Having people that personally comes in very handy, actually. You can't rely on hashtags anymore that get your the only exception I'll say to that is TikTok. TikTok, you can actually get crazy number of views. You know what I mean? So I don't like social media. I really don't. But in terms of marketing, it's extremely useful for music. And a lot of the people we were speaking about younger people earlier. Younger people pretty much are tapped into that. I mean, they talk about everything, music, you name it. So like it or not, it's kind of a reality. But yeah, I don't disagree with you, Philip. I tend to think it creates unreachable expectations for some people, perhaps, and creates a very clicky I don't even know what else to say, but I'm not here to judge social media at the moment anyways. I don't want to get too distracted. Sorry guys, but yeah. Well, anyway, the positive thing is we're using technology now for a good purpose. We're communicating, and so I always felt that Meetup was actually one of the better uses of social media because it actually brings people together as opposed to isolating people, which is ironically what a lot of social media does, right? A lot of social media, I think, it does the opposite of make you social, if that makes any sense. But so I really always thought that finding like-minded people in the various categories, it's a good use of technology. And so our category tonight here is obviously electronic music. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. Enough talking, and we'll go ahead and spin the wheel. And anyone wants to chime in with anything they want to talk about, by all means. Alrighty. Well, what do you know?
Lucky Lenny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
All
did.
right.
I'm coming to the table tonight with a track that is actually on the on my new EP actually, which I just released on Bandcamp, and it's also on on the streaming platforms, for sure on Spotify. Although on the track I'm about to share, um, I'm gonna play the vocal version, so that's the one that's on Bandcamp. So
Okay.
it's I tried to submit it to the other streaming platforms and it got a copyright
Hmm.
strike, which I kind of half expected that to be the case. So, well, not more than half actually. I 99% expected it to happen, but I tried it anyway. You never know. Didn't happen. So I created an instrumental version. So, but like I say, the version I'm going to play here today is or tonight is going to be the one that's with the vocals. And so yeah, I'll just go ahead and play it. But like I say, and thanks to those of you that have supported the EP. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Well
It's
worth buying.
yeah, well, thank you. And yeah, so I put in a little bit of I've been inspired by this group to be more of a perfectionist, to be a little bit more spend a bit more time. Like I didn't release it right away. I waited a few weeks, believe it or not, actually a month or two. I think it might have been 1 month actually, just doing finishing touches and stuff. So that's a new angle for me, to be honest with you. I was always very much more just kind of like in the moment, but I'm starting to realize with time, you go back to something and it can, something that didn't even appear to you before will become more obvious. And also I shared it with some other trusted friends of mine that have a good ear as well, and they made a lot of suggestions actually that at first I didn't even understand, and then after time I was like, oh, okay, this is what they were talking about. Now I totally understand, and it seems almost obvious with hindsight. You know what I mean? So it's good to sometimes delay a release until you make sure that you have everything ironed out. So I mean that's almost obvious probably for most people, but just to say that I kind of took that approach this time around. But anyway, I will go ahead and play the track, and yeah, we'll see what you guys think.
we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun them. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun them. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun them. We must rock the place, turn up the bass and make some sound, boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. Some sound boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun them. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make some sound boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun them. We must rock the place, turn up the place and make some sound boy run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday.
Yeah, awesome track. It's it fits in nicely with the other tracks on the EP too. So good job on putting all those together too.
Yeah,
A
thanks.
powerhouse. I
Yeah, I thought it was a good intro. It was the obvious choice for an intro. But yeah, speaking of the intro in Hexel, thanks for putting the link there, Phil.
Yeah.
It's basically like a six-sided uh, hexagon, I guess, like a beehive, and each cell is a note. So rather than a linear scale, it goes in every direction. And then you can set these, like quarter notes or half notes, whole, you know what I mean? So you can divide it up and set your tempo, and you can, and well, that was an example the of that in the intro there. But you can create very interesting melodies, bass lines, phrasings, um, and it's just a different way to create music, frankly, as opposed to again like a linear way.
Did
So
you use it for the drums?
no, I used it for like that the synth sounds and the bass
Okay.
sounds in the intro, basically. And I forgot about it. Like I made this like maybe 3 years ago, and I found it on my hard drive. I was like, whoa, the heck is this? I didn't even remember. And then when I had to go do the instrumental version, I had to sort of reverse backwards to figure out, okay, when did I make this so I could find it in my DAW to remove the vocals. Luckily, I found it. So when all else fails, I look at date modified on the files, and then in my DAW, I looked at more or less in those date range, like what I did, and I was like, oh my God, it's here. You know what I mean? Because I swear to you, I had zero recollection.
So which vocals
And
did you remove?
yeah, there was just a random track. I shouldn't say random. It's a good track. It was a remix by Skrillex of all artists, but I had a drum and bass version which sampled the sample, if you will.
Mm.
And
There's
nothing,
a,
not to criticize it, but I never liked the drop. So I always liked those vocals. But in the version I have, it's just I don't know. It doesn't hit for me. It's like it's like squeaky and it's like in the middle. It's not heavy. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, such a beautiful vocal. I want it to just like hit hard. You know what I mean?
so the
And
vocal
so
you're referring to there is the sort of dub Jamaican
yeah,
sound,
yeah,
and
exactly.
and then you have some other sounds that are almost like synthetic. Almost at one point, it sounds like a dog or something like that.
Well, that's
It's
the hex cell most likely.
okay.
The
Yeah, it's
only
very cool. Actually, I thought it was. I'm going. Where does that come from? Yeah.
yeah, and the drums I did the halftime drum, so that's I think it's just the amen break halftime. You know what I mean? Like very basic, but I liked it. I liked the mood. Like sometimes something simple works,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that was on my hard drive for 3 years. And out of a bunch of little fragments of sound I was listening to, that one stood out for me. You know what I mean? So then I went back to it and I thought, okay, what if I make a neurofunk drop? Because you're expecting maybe a jungle track, right, with that kind of an intro. So I thought, hey, I'll switch it up and make it neurofunk and retro too. Like it's not the newer style. And then the other thing is those weird bass sounds that come in.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was really not sure about those, and but like someone was just walking by and they're like, "Hey, what's that? Sounds really cool." And I'm like,
It
"Really?"
does.
I'm like, "Are you sure?" And this is like someone that's into like normal music. Like, let me just put it that way. They're not really experimental people at all. And I'm like, "You like that? You don't find that like crazy?" All right. We might argue because you know what I mean. I'm just used to listening to all kinds of music, right? So I sometimes can't differentiate between what someone would consider like I don't know, some people just have that instant ability where they either like or dislike something and it's just like black and white. And I don't have that. Like I'm a gray area all over the map, you know what I mean? There are things I really, really like, but there's a lot of times where I'm kind of like I mean, I can listen to my dryer just shaking and I'll be like, that sounds freaking awesome. You know what I mean? I'm serious. Like I'm not making this up. Like I actually get into all kinds of strange sounds, you know what I mean?
I
But
think you did a really good job in matching. Like I think it was very creative the way you matched these vocals with this dub Jamaican vocals with very electronic hardcore sounds. I mean, it works. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, thanks. Yeah.
It's
very
Sometimes,
unusual
really
because you wouldn't
powerful.
expect that marriage, but you made it work.
right, right. And I did that. I was gonna say in my DJ software. So I had the track done and I threw it in there and I said, okay, what can I do to mess this thing up? And that's where those crazy bass sounds came from. And that's literally just recorded in real time. It's no
Wow,
processing, zero. I just recorded it,
cool.
I edited it, and I threw it back in. And the variation part, I think, Phil, you mentioned that. Yeah, I think that entire track, to be honest with you, is for that part because that's the best part of the track, from my opinion. But if all you did was play that from beginning to end, you'd be sick of it, right? So it's all about the timing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have like a really good riff. I think Led Zeppelin, in a way, perfected this. Perhaps other they can have a great riff, but it's the timing of it. You build into it, you drop it, and then sometimes you go out of it and it's missing it or anticipating it that you like. At the same time, it's complementary. So even though it's different, and in drum and bass, it used to be normal to have a second drop, whereby there was a variation on the first part. It would be like basically a new section. And this was a very
Yeah.
normal part of the genre in the 90s, late 90s, I would say, maybe even in the 2000s, actually. And so a lot of DJs that I speak to reminisce. They're like, oh, you remember when, a drum and bass track was like 9 minutes long and you'd have two different drops. And the DJs and the producers were often, obviously DJing their own work. They would cut dub plates and test out different drops and see what the crowd reacted to. And then like, okay, does this one, you know what I mean? So it was like a kind of an iterative process that then would find its way back into like the quote unquote final version. But there's all kinds of these dub plate versions. You can even find them on YouTube. It's very interesting. So you can go back to like, like a drum and bass producer that's like top 20 in the world and listen to some of the dub plates that they played over the years. And I go through that kind of stuff. And I listen to that old stuff, and it gives me a lot of inspiration because you realize how minimal sometimes it is, and
Well,
that
you have
makes me feel better.
a lot of creativity in there. Like there's so many different ideas that you pulled all together, and but there's such an energy that you've got driving through the whole thing. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I try, it might be part of my short attention span. I have been known to like just have a short attention span. And sometimes, I might have been guilty of being too um all over the place. And I use this word coherent a lot, but that's the aim that I'm going with is that even though there's variations, it still fits. It's not like just totally off the wall. It makes sense. And actually, if you listen to Jungle, okay, like the original style, and a lot of people are still making it today. They take an R&B sample, and usually one of the best, like a loop that you could listen to for like 10 hours. It's so good. Like I am always marveling at they find like just literally the best damn nicest sounding, and then they build around it. And so you'll have like this intro with the simple drums, then you have like like the polyrhythmic and little slices of rhythm that are just sometimes almost you could someone who's not in listening carefully might not realize the genius, frankly, of how incredible the rhythms are. And then they drop into like some real like gangster like stuff. Like the lyrics are just like, you know, all over the map, really. It's not only that. And then it goes into this sweet, smooth R&B, you know what I mean? And then it comes back again. And they use like the echo and effects as part of the structure of the track. So I think that has influenced my approach. So even though I don't make that kind of more retro sounding jungle, that approach where you can just like switch it up and then go back and then back into the main part of the song, I feel emboldened to do that. When you hear a lot of drum and bass that's made today and different genres all over the map, but including neurofunk, it's kind of like one idea a lot of the times, and the tracks have gotten a lot shorter. So I don't know. I kind of I've been a fan of music, like my whole life. I'm sure most people would say that. Almost everyone likes some type of music, right? But as
Hmm.
someone that was never very well versed in making music, and then finally with technology having and different techniques too. It's I mean including even like analog stuff. It's not necessarily digital, right? But sampling, you know what I mean? Or even turntablism or tape loops. I remember, splicing magnetic tape, believe it or not, back in the late 80s, you know what I mean? And creating these loops that were like physical loops actually, right? I took a university class on music that was like really out there. And what was I getting at? So basically, being able to structure music in a way that where was I going with this? Like rock music, like Metallica. If you listen to early Metallica, you a lot of I always liked their early stuff because it would kind of go in a different direction. It would kind of be sort of repetitive, but then hit a section where it's like an alternate and then come back again. So I'm sort of rambling at this point, but I think that's sort of my inspiration. You know what I mean? It's a combination of all these things, like listening to music over the years and then and I'm rediscovering old music all the time. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of recordings, that they're timeless, right? So I just picked up A-Sides. He's a drum and bass producer. He did 25-year. I'll plug it in the chat here. And this guy is one of my favorites, to be honest with you. Let's see if I can pull it up on Bandcamp here. But anyways, I'll go ahead and spin the wheel in a second here. I just want to pull up this. This particular artist, yeah, this is, you know what, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. This particular artist uh, is basically sample based, you know, and has a very gritty sound, but like it's so perfect for the genre and the way he uses it, so I highly recommend anyone that wants to check out some older school.
Hmm.
I can actually, you know what? I'll share it with sound even. I'll just play quickly. I don't normally do this, but anyway, get the idea. But that hits hard, right? And so it's got like a real raw power to it. And so I'm
Yeah,
inspired.
that was cool, especially the second half. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long intro. So a lot of that stuff is made for mixing. So it'll be sounding perhaps very repetitive to listen to it beginning to end. You know what I mean? In a traditional album sense. But from a DJ perspective, the possibilities are endless, and you can really do a lot of. And so this guy, as like I say, just released his 25-year archive. So it just goes to show you, time flies. But anyway, speaking of which, very chatty tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel. Thanks for your feedback, guys, and once again, appreciate all the feedback and support. Let me find my screen here. All right, Joe.
So,
All right. So this track is a little unusual how I approached it. Normally, I get inspired by a sound or a beat that I make or something along a synth that I load, and that's how I get inspired. And it builds from there. And just like you guys probably somehow in your subconscious is some sounds and some rhythms that you incorporated it. But this time was different. I came up with a story that I want to put to music, and the story is basically it's like a three-step story. It's a tribe. It's a tribe, and they see what the state of the world and how there are so many nefarious leaders, and they decide to gather the tribe and then cast a spell, and it's a spell of kindness and a spell of morals onto those nefarious leaders. And then at the end, then they notice that the spell worked, and they rejoice and they celebrate. So
Wow.
that's that. Yeah. So I built around that idea.
Wow, amazing. Okay, well let's give it a listen.
It's called Rite of Mercy.
Yeah, that was a
Unleash
great
this,
ride.
unleash that spell, Jill.
Hmm.
Yes, let it go. All right, amazing.
Yeah, I was just commenting that it just sounded a little crunchy and maybe a little bit hot, but yeah, it's probably just the MP3 being played back through Twitch or something. But yeah, just a good job on the arrangement and just weaving all the themes together. I could really see kind of like this event happening. So yeah, very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I thought, even though it was a bit hot, I agree. When I looked at the meter, it was pretty red. But that's pretty typical of file playback. Typically, I have it cranked. Um,
Because it
so
should clip. It shouldn't go past zero because ozone drops it off at like a -1, I think, or something.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it
So
shouldn't be red at all.
Yeah, but Lenny's playing it
oh no no
through
no.
OSV
Yeah, but
Oh,
the
yeah, and
top
Twitch.
in my meter on OBS, the top is 0, so you can't
Mhm.
actually go beyond 0
okay.
either. So it's red from basically -10 to 0.
I
So
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Yeah,
it's
just
not
it
like
was not bad, but it just like I could tell. I'm like, pushing the levels just a bit too hot. But yeah, it's probably just the playback
Okay.
right now, going through a couple different things. So I wouldn't worry
Hmm.
about it.
Okay.
but I had
Yeah.
it cranked, and I
Hmm.
really enjoyed the as you mentioned, the atmosphere and the different collage of sounds, I suppose. Which I wanted to ask you about. Did you get those from sample libraries
Well, it's a
or
bit of
what?
everything. It's like the main spell. The main spell is actually me with, very processed and
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
played backwards and yeah, I did all sorts of things on there. Then there's also some other sounds that I found that I reversed and it sounded spell like that was more like the female vocals or
Uh-huh.
kind of female, just a little higher pitch. So that wasn't me, but the main spell, the main sort of shaman that's giving the spell, that was me. And the other ones, the loops for the tribe, that it's just a lot of searching and then pitching so that I feel it's right, and then also EQing, so to remove some of the sounds that I didn't like. So it's a lot of manipulation of samples that I found. Plus, and then the synths and all that, I played those. Same with the drum beat and what there's a conga. There are two congas or three. There's three conga samples that I used, but I chopped them up to do rolls and change so that it's not just a normal conga. Yeah, I try to add whenever I have a sample. I try to add some humanness to it and to make it more uh,
Like
um,
organic?
exactly. That's
It
exactly what I'm
sounded
looking.
organic
Yeah.
anyways. I had
Hmm.
that. Then like someone mentioned it was like
Yeah.
the storytelling aspect. So
Yeah.
you really felt like
Mhm.
it was a
And of course, there's that's trademark of mine, which is mixing world music and electronica. So that's why
Mhm.
the synth line is there, driving, especially at the end during the celebration.
yeah, nicely done.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean
Thanks.
it definitely paints a picture with the sound. I definitely could feel like there's stuff happening, you know, in this environment that you're in.
Hmm.
Um, I almost didn't want to see the album art. I wanted to kind of maybe just see where it took me, but anyway, because it kind of suggested, I'm like, okay, that's kind of what's going on. But no, I mean it's
Hmm.
yeah, definitely took me on a ride.
Good. Good. Thanks.
Yeah, I could see you developing like some other themes around this that kind of tie it all together in
Hmm.
like a bigger epic story
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Jeff,
like
you were muted.
where are these people from? Where are they going? What's happening to them? What are their enemies? What are
Right.
their passions?
Having you introduce the piece really makes a big difference for the storytelling. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, and the description for the track will say that as well because uh, otherwise it can be like what is this? It's very weird. Like this weird gibberish in the middle, and it does sound like a spell. But what is it? So that's why I usually I think it's a good idea to have some sort of a backstory. But then again, it might be interesting to just throw it at someone and say, "What do you think? What do you think the story is?" Mm-hmm. But music can be interpreted in so many different ways. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would stand on its own, really. I mean, it's a strong piece. They may not necessarily know exactly, you know what I mean, the specific spell, but I think that,
Mm-hmm.
and
It
I
definitely
thought
has that tribal flavor to it. Yeah.
the album art I thought was very nice too, or the track art. But I could see it going well with video too, though. You know what I mean? Some type of abstract video, even.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of possibilities, but
Yeah.
great,
Okay.
great job.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, and good to see you again too, Joe. I feel like it's been a while, so.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, the Echo Man. Sorry. You're not making any sound at the moment.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
They're
Can't hear you.
muted or something.
Maybe check your audio settings. Make sure it's pointing to the mic.
How about now?
Here we
Yep.
go.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I turned the mic down. I turned it down too much, apparently. So,
Sounds good.
So
No echo.
No echo. Good. So my song is a remix. It's probably the opposite of the last song, which was, very, very high-minded and elegant. This was a fun vocal I found on label Radar for a contest, and I remixed it, and I added some Latin percussion and elements to it, and check it out.
Yeah, let's give it a listen.
Once upon a time, not long ago, I heard boys talk shit that they don't know. I hear boys talk shit like Jessie a hoe. She a real bad girl and she got to go. More I know, who's that? Yeah, I curse, yeah, I'm loud, and I got my titties out. Naranja, what's that? Let me break it down for the bad bitches. I know where you at, I know you be talking smack. Never had a chance, do you even do the honey dance? 꼬리 흔들어 like 개같이. Go girl, shake your tail, go ahead, burn the baby fat. We can go one on one, yeah. We might just have some fun, yeah. Fucking with me in your dreams, we might get in some trouble. Play on my team. I'ma show you that when you come with me, you gon' win. Hello, bet you really wanna know why girls like that? Ain't girls like me. Ain't a girl like me. Girl, can't you see? Wait a minute now. That girls like me. Oh no. Girls like. Here come the. I got the. You could be just like me. We on the. We out the. Hold up, stepping on the beat like. I just got a brand new swag, it's in the bed like. And I pop that tag like I pop this ass. Spaz on 'em, jazz on 'em like. Ow! Goddamn, I'm feeling myself. Come on. Hello. But you really wanna know why girls like that? Ain't girls like me. Hello. But you really wanna. Hello. But you really wanna. Where are my baddies? Do you really wanna know why girls like that? Tell them why girls like that. Come on. Ain't girls like me. Hell no, ain't a girl like me. Can't you see? Wait a minute now. Hey, that girls like me. Oh no. Girls like me. Here come the. I got the. You could be just like me. We on the. We out the. Hold up, stepping on the beat like. Ow! Let them know, come on.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I really liked it.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, it is a great vocal
Yeah, I had fun with it.
to work
Had,
off of.
had a main vocal track, and then the bum 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 bums, which I retimed, and then it had a bunch of ad libs, and they fit really well, I thought. So.
Were they all part of the same packs, or did you use different packs?
This was a remix contest, so they gave you the stems for the song, and I just used the vocal stems.
Okay.
How did you do in the contest, Peter?
Oh, this one's still open. I gotta submit it in 4 days.
Oh, I think you're going to do well.
But I always lose. This is literally, let's see, this is like the 100th remix contest I've done.
Yeah.
I've won one, but that's not a very good
That's
win rate.
it's not a very easy contest to win because how many submissions are there? Like probably like thousands and thousands.
Yeah, there's usually a couple hundred, 400. I did a Madonna remix. It had over 1,000 submissions.
Right on. But this is strong. I mean, I'm sure there's some heavy hitters there, but yeah, I think you got a good chance. I think you did a tremendous job tying it all together. I mean, I don't know what the original sounds like, but I know that you typically only use the vocals, and you would never know. Like, you would think like this was made to be composed in this manner if you heard this track, right? So.
Yeah, my remixes are like I make a new song out of it. The original, I try not to listen to the original. I just pop in, see if I like the vocal, and then take it from there. But the original is slower, and it's okay. I think.
What's the original called? I'll have a look at it after.
It's also the same. Girls Like Me by Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, well, anyway, I mean, I think you're getting, when you do these remixes, you do a lot of these, and I've done a few in the past when I found the vocal that I like, and it's a good challenge to like just take this vocal and just make it into some new song, and I do the same thing. I think it was when I was watching Deadmau5, and he says, yeah, I throw everything away, and then I just use the vocal, and I just write what I want around the vocal, and I do the same thing. I don't even listen to the original, except for the Madonna one that you're talking about. I did that years ago with, it was an Acid remix from the Acid software that Lenny used to use. I think it was back in the late 2000s. Anyway, whenever Ray of Light came out. But yeah, it was just interesting to take the vocal and just do something new. Anyway, you did a good job on this.
Thanks. The Madonna one last year was Ray of Light. So it was the William Orbit. He did the music and produced it.
I find that those contests are so subjective. I only entered one, and I knew I wasn't going to win. I was just starting out into getting more serious about music production. But the winner, I listened to the top 10, and there were some that were, in my opinion, are way better than the winner. So that kind of threw me off and left me with a bad taste. Saying, who's the judge here? But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. It's not. Maybe my pick wasn't good. But I just found it very interesting that I didn't think the top was.
There's a lot of things like that, though. Without being funny or whatever. Like, it's true. Like, if you think about, I was just thinking about arts funding and how huge a part that plays for artists, right? I mean, typically, patrons are hard to come by, so there's like states and maybe private awards and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it makes you wonder, you know what I mean? People are like greasing greasing the palms, man.
Yeah, I mean, I use
You know?
those contests to just grab a vocal and make a song out of it. I don't care if I win or not, but
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Yeah.
I
right,
haven't done it
yeah.
in a while. But yeah,
I just do it. I do it for fun, and you know, I'm always learning. This is a hobby for me. I'm always
Right.
learning.
Is there feedback
I
that you
like
get?
working with a vocal. Yeah.
Do the
Peter,
judges-
he's got the
Feedback from
oh,
other
you mean actual feedback in terms of, sorry, I
No,
thought you
no,
were talking
sorry.
about the
No,
echo.
in the contests, is there feedback relating to? No, they don't say,
No.
"Oh, this is blah, 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 blah," or why they made
Too
certain
many-
decisions
too
to
many
help with the
submissions.
grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. The one I won, they did an Instagram video of the judging, and that was fun.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
because they're playing all the songs, and you can see them reacting to it, and then they played my song, and they kind of lost their shit, and that was fun to see.
That is. That's
tell-
cool.
I won't tell you how many times I've watched that video.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
that would make it interesting for sure when you see a live review and maybe even some comments that they make on the various tracks. But
you should share a link to that.
Yeah, I will. It's
yeah, that would be
I
fun.
don't know. Instagram, when you play the video on the computer, there's no scroll bars, so you can't
Right.
fast forward. Well, you play it on the phone, you can. But I'll send the link. But if you're gonna do it, play it on the phone, unless you want to watch the whole hour and a half long thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, just give us the timestamp of where you are.
Yeah, I'll give you the timestamp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
that'd
that
be cool.
sounds cool. It's also, as someone, I think a lot of us make instrumentals, so it's a good exercise to work with vocals. You know, every once in a while, if not more often than not, and it's amazing what the power of vocals can do to music. Because, like I say, I mostly do listen to instrumental music, but it makes me really appreciate singers and also composers for how they incorporate that. So
Label Radar has a lot of contests, and I just did one. They do some sample libraries from time to time, and so this was a hard techno sample library, and so you get a sample, a subset of the sample library to use, and you just got to use one or two elements in your track.
oh yeah,
That's an
so they do. Oh, okay.
I made an instrumental track out with that.
Did you find that the participants' songs are fairly similar, or they really vary a lot?
They're different. When you can go when you submit the song, you got to pick 20 seconds of your song. Like they tell you, pick the best 20 seconds of your song. Right?
Oh.
That's annoying. That's because my whole song is a masterpiece. How am I supposed
Right.
to pick 20?
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I mean,
But then when you go to the page, you can see everybody's submission, and you can play
Okay.
their 20 seconds. And
Okay.
So they don't listen to the whole track?
They do, but they
Start with
they
the 20
pop in.
seconds.
They start with the 20-second, and then if they like it, they can go and listen to the whole track.
I see.
Oh,
Well,
grassroots.
realistically speaking, as I know a few people that used to work in record stores, and that's kind of how they would do it. They throw a record on, drop it. This is cool. Oh, yeah, next one. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying that should change how you approach things, but that is the reality of a lot of people that listen to a ton of music, right? They can't listen to every single second of a track. So when it's interesting when you submit to the streaming services, they usually will also look for a piece, right? Like the highlight or whatever.
Right.
I usually just let it stay with them, you know what I mean? But I'm perfectly fine with it starting at the intro, frankly. Usually, if you can get 20 seconds wouldn't be enough though, usually. But no, that's cool. Thank you very much, Peter, for sharing that. Very good job. Good luck. I think
good
you
luck.
deserve.
Yeah, like
you deserve
that.
the
That was
gold.
exciting. Good luck.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Ready? Let me go ahead and spin the wheel here. Alrighty, Jeffrey. Is that your actual name, Jeffrey, or is it?
I guess that would be a legal term. Jeff is just yeah.
That's on your birth certificate. Yeah.
Yeah, it fell on there somewhere. But
That's what the police call me.
yeah, really, eh?
Or your
Yeah.
mom, Jeffrey.
No,
Jeffrey.
she didn't go with the Jeffrey either. But probably behind bars, yeah, it would probably be a different thing. Yeah,
You don't want to find
Let's
out.
not go there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is a song I've had. The guitar part, I probably did about over a year ago, year and a half ago, and it's just been sitting there. And I finally said, okay, about a week ago, I picked it up, a week and a half ago, I picked it up and said, okay, I got to do something with this and move it forward for tonight. So it's, I don't know, I just needed to move it forward. I'm not sure if I like it 100%. I like the guitaring, uh, and then, but sometimes I find it's challenging to of what to do with some guitar pieces and how to bring it into an electronic context. So yeah, so maybe you could give me some feedback on what might work as and what doesn't work here. Uh, yeah, so it's still just a work in progress, but I just wanted to get and showcase my guitar and yeah. So take it away.
All right, let's give a listen.
Very good, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Jill. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you didn't try to overproduce it. I mean, it's very chill, and by not overproducing it, you kept it that way. So yeah, good job on that. And your guitar playing is really smooth. And now, did you have to tweak the guitar playing after, like, like the wave files or the audio files, or you just dropped them in? And they were on time. They were on the beat.
So
Hmm?
for most of the
I don't know. We should check the
song,
garage.
it was
Okay.
pretty much
All right.
as it is, and I just took it as it is. There's the one spot which is um, it's a bit more of a bit more of a solo, and at that point, I actually doubled up on the sound,
Okay.
and that's the part where Phil was saying I like the chord changes. At that point in time, I doubled the guitar part to give it more of a layering.
Okay.
So there was, but the other parts, it was done like that. I really didn't have to change much in my timing on that. It was, except that one spot again. That spot, it was more produced, but the other guitar parts,
Okay.
it was just pretty straightforward. Like, I just sit there and I just, you know, hammer away at things and I record until I get it right. And then a week later, I will forget what I even played. I write it and I score it all down so I could go back to it at a later point. I always like write down what I've done, but frankly, I just forget. I do them and I forget how I did them. That's why I started recording it. But I have so many pieces like this, like so many that I just never quite know what to do with them, right? And so it's like this group. It makes me pick something to bring forward, and that's so this one's been sort of sitting there for a while, and I like the guitaring, and I said, okay, I really got to bring this forward, right? And then I'm not 100% you know, okay with it. But I have to work to bring it forward. Like sometimes, especially with guitar things, I have a really hard time to figure out how I'm going to bring in things like the bass, how I'm going to bring in a different effects. Uh, and I've got some stuff that I've got back there where I'm playing, you know, three times on top of myself, where it's very jazz or folky, and to try to produce it, I really haven't got a sense of what to do with it,
So
right?
when you play guitar, do you play to a click track?
No, generally not.
That's
I
pretty.
will
Yeah, I
put
mean,
some sort of a percussion sound
okay,
in, like
okay,
if that's if, but
yeah.
not the metronome generally. But I often will pick some sort of a drum or a bass.
Yeah, to stay on tempo. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what maybe gets my groove going. Yeah.
In terms of mixing, the one thing that you may want to consider looking at is, at one point, there's a synth part that comes in, maybe like a third or maybe a third of the way through. There's a synth part that comes in, and it's doing a solo, and then after that you come in with a guitar with along with that. So I thought the level of that solo synth was too low. You could bring it up because it is solo at the time.
Um,
So you had
yeah.
a solo guitar, which is perfect level. Then you come into this solo synth part, and the volume just kind of drops.
Yeah, and I noticed
Well,
that here.
it's solo and then it's so low
So
Yeah,
at the
exactly,
same
it's so
time.
low. So I would bring
yeah,
it so high.
yeah. I was listening and I'm going, what happened to that one part? Because it
Yeah,
sounded like usually at one part, it's it. I drop out one of the the choir kind of part. I drop it out, and the synth comes in, but it didn't. it didn't come out as fully as I would have thought. So thank you. I
Yeah,
will.
maybe just the volume thing, and then after that it continues, but there's another instrument that kind of takes the lead. Then I would just duck that one. I just duck it a bit. Something to think about, just so that the soloists has the part, his part on the stage basically.
Yeah, so there. I'll have to listen to it again because when I was doing it, it didn't seem to fall away. Like tonight, when I was listening to it, it sounded like a repetition of what went before. I didn't
Okay.
hear. I didn't hear. It's almost like a lower synth that's coming in with almost like a Celtic kind of sound, and it didn't really come across, right? Just like the solo part is kind of like bagpipes, right? Like reminiscent of bagpipes. I used to have to listen to them all the time,
So
early in the
Jeff,
morning.
when you're playing your guitar, are you then running your signal into like some software effects to get the tone?
Um,
Or
yeah, in that case, I was. So I'm just going through an interface, and then Apple has a whole batch of guitar sounds, and often I'll spend time uh, trying trying to narrow the frequency band and pick the sound. Because one of the biggest challenges with I find with the guitar is it wants to take up the entire frequency range, leaving little room for anything else. So that's where trying to bring that back and to create a sound that's in a narrower band, especially if it's trying to be lead. If you're just trying to have it accompany or to or be a rhythm, you can really make it a lot smaller. But that's part of the issue is that a lot of times with the guitar, it doesn't leave much space for other things.
That's why a call and response is a good use of lead guitar for that. If you're going to bring in some other instruments, like so, you have 2 bars of a guitar or something, then you have 2 bars of a response from another instrument that would normally compete with the guitar frequencies.
And sometimes if it's more, I don't know, I don't want to generalize, but perhaps up tempo or more of a rock tune, you can use side chaining, right? Which is a very normal engineering technique that it's our favorite topic, it seems like sometimes. But I thought just to say that with the choice of sounds, just to follow on what Gilles was saying, that yes, you didn't overdo it, but you were very selective and you chose very good complementary sounds. So
Oh,
I really
thank you.
like the percussion sounds that you chose. Yeah, it worked well.
Oh, that's good because that indeed is part of the problem with moving forward with I found with that piece was is what complements this and this. Sometimes with the guitar things that I do, it's like what would complement this? It's really difficult for me to find. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. But I have to go back and listen some more. It was a bit fast, out the gate, but I just felt I wanted to press forward with this thing.
Yeah, good good work.
Yeah, good
Thank
work.
you.
All right, well, thank you for sharing. And so yeah,
Thank
Philip.
you for your feedback.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so Philip, what's on the agenda today?
Yeah, this is another track that was inspired by my trip out to Carlsbad, California, over Christmas and New Year's. Spent a lot of time kind of wandering around on the beach and watching the sunset, and a lot of that was watching the pelicans kind of, group of pelicans just skim across the water in front of the waves and stuff. So this one's called Fly the Pelicans. Using my good old standby Omnisphere for all of the sounds, and then I ended up purchasing Stylus RMX, which is an older plug-in from Spectrasonics, which basically is a bunch of drums and percussion loops, but they have it in a VST that's kind of, it looks dated now, but there's a lot of good content in there, even if some of the content is probably a little bit dated as well. But anyway, I used that for the percussion and the drums, so hope you
Nice.
enjoy it.
All right, let's give it a listen.
E flat minor, but I like playing the black keys, so sue me. But
I think you did a really good job in like juxtaposing the crunchiness of it. Even that little, yeah, you have this percussion that's kind of not harsh, but compared to the other sound, it is.
mhm,
And you made it work, just like the crunchy drums. I thought it was pretty cool how you can have some soothing sounds with the waves, then have this kind of little bit more edgy sounds,
mhm.
and made it work. I really like the I don't know if there's an auto pan, maybe it's already built in, but I could hear some auto pan and some ping pong effect almost.
Yeah,
Um,
it's built into the patches that I chose
yeah,
for
yeah.
Modern Sphere.
Good
Yeah,
choice. Good choice. It was nice. Very
Yeah,
wide.
I like the waves that I mean I like the whole track, but what Peter I think mentioned that in the chat, and yeah, it's very nicely done. Complemented the track very well, and it's very chill.
Yeah, I get to listen to a fair bit of Cantonese music in the 70s and 80s, and they
mhm,
use those kinds of instruments that you're using. But of course, yours is much more modern sounding, and the fact that you're uh, uh, building your composition over the water,
mhm.
and then that chill part that comes in, which I really like that
Mhm.
how you brought that in. So it really it was very relaxing and soothing. Uh,
Yeah. Well, let's just send you on your way to overseas to China.
exactly, exactly.
I
Yeah.
suppose they have pelicans over there too, so maybe it'll work.
Well, yeah, I
Do you
don't
remember
know.
that Al Pacino? I think it's in Scarface, where he's like, "Look at the Pelican." I don't know. I'm sorry. Every time I hear that, you don't know that clip.
Yeah.
I, but um, but that was a really chill track. I mean, stereo separation, echoing what was said in the chat was very well done. It's very impressive.
No, thanks.
So you need to go off to the coast and experience the sea, water, and the nature more often, Phil.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I got 2 tracks out of it at least, Tide Pools and
Mm-hmm.
Fly the Pelicans, so
Yeah.
maybe I should do
Aquatic.
Traffic Jam next because we sat in traffic in San Diego, so we'll do that one.
That was the beauty, of like if you do a record, you can have like oceanic on one side, land on the
Hmm.
other, like surf and turf, as
Hmm.
a combo. No, but it is an interesting, like in all seriousness, like you say, like the urban traffic experience and how that
Hmm.
factors into, your mood and how you perceive things. And then when you're in nature,
Hmm.
me having moved recently, like I noticed right away, like I'm in the sprawl, you know what I mean? So it's just like
Hmm.
traffic and like, big trucks and like just,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
So
Everything
you're near the
going.
401 then, huh?
Yeah, I'm near the airport here. I'm in Brampton. So
Oh,
this
there
is
you go,
like,
Brampton.
yeah, this is like the epitome of trucking and all that kind of
Oh
transportation,
yeah, spent a lot of
massive
time there.
potholes, like, you know,
Haven't you been off in Collingswood or something for a
yeah,
while?
I was up north
Oh,
and
big difference. Yeah.
yeah, so it's a different and it's beauty overload. Like I always realize this as I'm driving through the country. I'm just like, I don't know if there can be this much beauty if you can just handle it. It's
Hmm.
too much, you know what I mean? Like this country is just, I'm sure there's so many places in the world, but there's no shortage of beauty in this country, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just blows me away. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
know even how to sometimes deal with it. It's just like It's but like the city has an appeal and the sprawl, just it's a different dynamic. So I like both. I do actually like kind of just like whatchamacallit, being involved in technology. I always appreciated nature. You know what I
The
mean?
contrast.
If you spend a lot of time, actually, there was a movie that I watched. I think it's called The North, and I want to say it was a Danish filmmaker, could be Swedish. I apologize. And it was a random movie. Like I was just online, and I'm like, and it was in the action category of all categories to be in, because this movie was the most minimal movie I have ever seen. It's literally two guys hiking in Scotland, in the Highlands. And I don't want to spoil it. That's the thing. The movie, I don't want to
Sounds
say
like it
more,
could be beautiful.
but like one of the lines that sticks out in the movie near the end, the guy's like, some of my friends and family ask me, why do you do it? Why do you walk for like miles and miles and miles, days and days hiking? And the funny thing is, when I was working at a desk job for 30 years, nobody ever asked me why I did that. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that is the freaking greatest line that I heard in a
Boom.
long
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes people even will ask, why do you do this? Like, why do you do a meetup group? Why do you make
Hmm.
music? What's the purpose? And I'm like, think of all the other things you could be doing, which are like this is a pretty good option, to be honest with you, making
Yeah.
arts. You know what I mean?
You
Like in
could
the
be
greater scheme
watching
of things, it's not a
Housewives
bad option, guys.
of Orange County or something.
I'm just saying. So like, just to say, like, like why not walk in nature? Like, why not go for a week in the middle of the woods, right? Like, it's true. So I sort of see. I don't know. I just thought I'd share that. It was something that struck
Yeah.
me, and I'm talking about this movie. Yeah, it's like it's kind of genius in a way. How minimal it is when you watch it. You're like, again, I can't talk too much about it because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So I'll just leave it at that. But it was an interesting take, and really, and I think that's the purpose a lot of times, obviously, of art is to make you think. Like you're watching this movie and you're thinking, why was this movie made this way? What's the message? What is this all about? Why do I have this need for something more? As I was watching it, and I realized I don't really need it. You know what I mean? It's like all these like gimmicks and things that you see a lot of times to sort of captivate an audience. This movie was the antithesis. It was the exact opposite. It was like it was genius, really. I really have to say it was an incredible movie. It's The North. I'm gonna try to find the name as I'm talking here, but yeah, it's The North. Yeah, and the fact that it was in like the action, yeah, Nord. Maybe this is it. Nordfest. Anyway, I'll find it eventually. But yeah, actually, you know what? Here it is. Here, I think it's yeah. This is it here on IMDb. Okay, okay. So it'll make more sense by seeing a link here, so you can kind of check it out if you're interested. Very interesting. But yeah, I think that art is a really good just to close tonight's session. It's a good use of your time, and it's a hobby, and people sometimes find it therapeutic, and it's a way of communicating with other people as well. And as I mentioned, oftentimes when you think about who we remember from history, many times it is great artists, and their art lives on. So it's you know it's a great thing to be a small part of. And anyway, guys, thank you very much again
Thank you,
for
Lenny.
spending time tonight and sharing. And yeah, we'll do it
Yeah,
again
it was nice
next
to
month.
see everybody.
I should mention one plug. I'm going to be doing a stream this Saturday back at System Music. So during COVID, I was doing live streams a lot, and this was a DJ store in Pickering, and I haven't been there. Up last week was the first time after several years, because I lived further away, right up north. And so we're gonna be back again this Saturday. So they've kept this going. So there's some other My Girl Tuesday. It's the main DJ. So she's been doing weekly, and I think there's different guests actually. It's not just her, but she was one of the main people, along with Barry Booth, who is the owner of System Music Warehouse in Pickering. They are very good people. They will beat any price in the city. So if you're looking for some DJ equipment, you definitely want to check out System Music Warehouse. And yeah, like I say, DJ Dextra, myself, Elbow Kickin', and a special guest MC will be live streaming. And I'm gonna try to put it on my channel. I can't guarantee it. They have their own Twitch channel, but I don't know. I'll submit the information out there. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, besides that, you know, stay safe, and you know, good luck once again, Peter, with your submission there. I think you got a really good track.
Thank you.
And but the Reaper thing. I'm more than happy to share my Reaper settings, Peter. I'm just warning you that it might be very basic from what you're expecting. You know, I'll probably learn more from your settings, but I'm happy to share my settings, and you know, we can. Peter and we both use Reaper, the DAW, so he had suggested we like take a look at our setups or whatever. So I'll reach out to you on email. So thank you once again.
Okay.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great
Thanks
night,
again,
and
Lenny.
have a
Nice
good
seeing you
trip
guys.
to. All right, take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.